Hey, are you looking for a workout plan designed to maximize fat loss over 40 without committing to long workouts, boring cardio, or achy joints? If so, you're in the right place because today I'm going into lesson one of my interval and circuit style training for fat loss. So, without further ado, we're going to go ahead and dive right on in. Okay, so the very first thing I want to say is that we are talking about interval style training, but I want you to know that high intensity interval training is more of a misnomer because you can actually do high intensity, moderate intensity, or low intensity, and all of these are going to serve you just as well. And you can work your way up to that higher intensity, okay? Now, the big key that we're talking about here is interval style. And I'm going to go through our special blend of what we use in our Joyfully Fit 365 program so that you can actually get the same style that we teach our paying and private clients to do. And you're going to know exactly how to lose the weight and keep it off in a way that fits into your busy schedule. Now, the cool thing is that these workouts are very, very short. They don't have to be all acrobatic like in circus style like you might have seen people do. And unfortunately, a lot of times people are turned off by HIIT style workouts simply because there was some knucklehead trainer or knucklehead coach that was making them do dangerous things and making them feel like they were going to throw up. If that's you and you've been through there, check everything that you think that you know about interval training from your brain. I'm going to help you to set the record straight today so that you know if this is a good fit for you. Now, again, is this my favorite style of working out for me? No, not when it comes to enjoyment, but when it comes to effectiveness, this is something that I have used for literally 20 years with my private clients. And I've used for myself back in the day when we were a little bit younger and used to do photo shoots. We would use this style of workouts, this style of training structure in order to help us to lean up, to build muscle tissue, and to keep a faster metabolism. So without further ado, we use a hybrid approach to HIIT in our Joyfully Fit University, also known as Joyfully Fit 365. Now, in our JFU program, we mix up hard, fast exercises with slower ones like you would find in HIIT workouts, okay? So what that might look like is the hard, fast exercises might be things like kettlebell swings, or it might be push presses, things that are a little bit more explosive and that a little bit more represent Olympic style movements. Because we're going to use explosive techniques for strength and hypertrophy, which is to build that muscle and strength. But B, what we're going to do is by doing that style of workout or that style of exercise, we can then take what we call an active rest, where maybe you're resting the muscle that you were just working, and we're doing a plank or we're doing cardio or something to that effect, so that we're shortening the rest time, meaning that your workout is very effective and yet it is smaller and smaller in time compared to cardio, compared to longer strength and hypertrophy workouts, etc. Okay. Now, we also use movements from different sports and types of exercises like in cross training. And to be fair, most of our program is really similar to a cross training interval style workout system. The reason why we do that is because it's going to give you the best of both worlds, where you're going to tone up and lose body fat, but you're also going to build functional strength that you could use in the real world. And even better yet, most of my clients who have been successful, I had one back in the day who he only worked out with me 3 times a week for about 25 to 30 minutes doing this style of workout. And he was able to lose 134 pounds in a little over 11 and a half months. Now, is that a lot of weight in a short amount of time? You bet. That was somebody who was working very hard and had nutrition dialed in and all of that. But I do say that so that you know the power and effectiveness behind this style. So whatever you think that you might know pertaining to HIIT style, and if it's going to burn you out or get you injured or all that stuff, chuck that at the door, because that has just been done the wrong way. And today I'm going to show you how to at least set up for the right way, okay? Now, again, this helps you to burn calories. It's going to get your heart pumping, and it's going to build muscle all in one workout. The reason why is because we're blending cardiovascular activity or aerobic activity with anaerobic activity, which is resistance style training, okay? When we fuse those together, we get a shorter workout that you are maximizing fat loss. And we're going to go into a little bit such as EPOC and things like that here in just a moment. Now, high intensity interval training, or again, from this point on, I'm going to call it interval training, It's going to involve short bursts of intense exercise followed by brief periods of rest. Now, those periods of rest do not have to be like a strength and conditioning style rest where you literally just sit and you're counting the time until you're ready. Instead, you can do these active rests where you might go from squats, and then you might rest your legs from going into squats, and then you might switch over into something like a plank or a shoulder press. And so you're resting one muscle, but you're still active because you're working another. And you can go back and forth this way, and it's going to really, really maximize potential for fat loss, okay? Now, these intense periods of exercise are going to elevate the heart rate, while the brief periods of rest, depending on what those are going to allow the heart rate to come down and recover, okay? Now, this is proven to increase calorie burn and metabolic rate too. And I'll get into the metabolic rate here in just a moment. Now, the cycle of high intensity exercise and recovery can be increased or decreased for your goals. What does that mean? Well, what that means is that if you're just getting started and you've never done any workouts like this, your what's known as rating of perceived exertion might be like a 4 or a 5 on a scale of 1 to 10. Where somebody who has already been through, maybe they've worked with trainers, they've done various different things in exercise, maybe they're aiming for more of a 7 or an 8 or something to that effect when it comes to a scale of 1 to 10, okay? So what's cool is you might start off being somewhere around a 4 or 5 on that scale of 1 to 10, but the more you're conditioned, the more you're going to be able to elevate that to a higher rating of perceived exertion, okay? Now, the cool thing about these style workouts, which is why so many of my clients who travel and are busy entrepreneurs, why they love them. The reason is they can be done with body weight exercises, with resistance or weightlifting, exercise bands, or cardio equipment too. You can do all of those all using various styles of equipment. So equipment is never going to be the thing that holds you back from getting into the shape that you want to be in, okay? Now, your exercises can be swapped within the same muscle group or exercise style. So what does that mean? Let's say that, for example, you're in my program and I wrote you up the workout, and let's say that it says flat bench press in this workout, and you don't have a bench press or you don't have a barbell. So you could switch it out for dumbbell bench press, you could switch it out for push-ups, or you could switch it out for standing chest press using the elastic bands. Whatever would work is totally fine as long as you're focused on progressive overload, which means that you're going to push yourself to within 0 to 3 reps in reserve. What that means is that if I offered you $1 million at the end of your set to get 1 or 2 or 3 more reps, if that $1 million should entice you, but you should only be able to get no more than 3 additional reps for that $1 million. If you can get more than that, you've left some exercise, you've left some energy on the table, and thusly some muscle building and some fat loss, which is what we don't want. So this is why we want to keep that focus, okay? Now, the other cool thing is that you can scale these workouts up or down in duration and in intensity for your conditioning level. What does that mean? Well, a lot of my clients might start off with literally 15-minute workouts. I have one client where I started them out at 2 15-minute workouts per week. Once they were progressing, we bumped it up to 20 minutes, and then finally it was 2 20s and then a 15. So 3 workouts all under 20 minutes. And that was the cool thing. And they got amazing results. The other thing is, like I mentioned, we can scale back that intensity. So maybe you're doing, instead of push-ups, to the maximum, maybe you're going to leave 3 reps in reserve instead of 1 or 2. And that's going to store or conserve a little bit more energy for you too, okay? Now, the length and intensity of each interval can be adjusted for conditioning too, and I'm going to go through those. So most common HIIT intervals are going to be 30 seconds on and 30 seconds off. And that's going to be more of a Tabata style where you're doing something and then you're resting, do something and then rest. Whereas most of my workouts that I'm building for my clients, they're going to be doing a resistance training movement, a cardiovascular movement. So again, we're talking about aerobic or anaerobic, which is resistance, aerobic which is going to be your cardiovascular. And then we might take a 20 or 30-second rest, because of the fact that if you are doing a cardio movement, or let's say you're doing a plank, you're resting your legs, and that's that active rest, and you can jump back in. Now, obviously, if you're deconditioned, you are going to need a little bit more rest, and that's okay, but we can build up to what we're talking about here. Now, you can also do 45 seconds on and 15 seconds off, 20 seconds on and 10 seconds off, or even 60 seconds on and 30 seconds off. All of these are just variations of the same style based on intensity of where you're at on your journey. Now, the duration of our HIIT workouts are going to range from 15 to 30 minutes. We do not go past 30 minutes. Number one is because it's going to burn you out. Number two is it's not necessary. You can get great results simply by making sure that your nutrition is dialed in and just doing, giving your all in these workouts for what you have for that day. Okay. So, what I would recommend for you to start off with is going to be starting off at 15 minutes, 2 to 3 workouts a week at 15 minutes, and gradually increase. So, maybe this week it's 15 minutes. Next week, bump up one of your workouts by 5 minutes, not all. And then the following week, bump up your second. Then the following week, bump up your third. And this is going to get you more and more advanced without feeling like you're biting off more than you can chew. Okay. And that's all this is about, guys, is getting great results in a way that's sustainable so you don't get injury and that you actually want to stay with it. And that's the key. Okay. We're not teaching you how to lose fat as quickly as possible, because normally the ways that you do things as quickly as possible are going to lead to you regaining it as quickly as possible, okay? So what I want you to know is that how I live as a fitness coach is different than what you might envision somebody doing to keep in shape or to get in shape. The reason I say that is because I am not doing fad workout things. I'm not doing things that are unsustainable, and I don't want you to do that either, okay? So what are the benefits of HIIT? Well, we've got improved cardiovascular health, we've got function of the heart and blood vessels, and reducing the risk of heart disease. Those are amazing things. But exercise in general can do that. This here just does it in a little bit more of an advanced way. Now, with that being said, HIIT can improve your endurance and your fitness by enhancing the body's ability to use oxygen through high intensity intervals. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, when you're working out using resistance training, your body is needing more oxygen for the muscles than what you can possibly uptake. And because of that, it's putting you into an oxygen debt or an oxygen deficit. Okay, that's why you might be breathing a little bit hard while you're doing your workout or feeling lactic acid, etc. And what's happening is while you're doing that workout, your body is still trying to adequately uptake more oxygen. And that process is burning more calories and speeding up your metabolism. Now, the cool thing is that for hours after your workout, if you're doing resistance training, especially stuff like this, you are going to be burning significantly more calories throughout the day, even at rest. This is a great way to improve the metabolic output so that you've got more fat loss, and yet you're putting in less time in the gym or hotel gym or home gym or whatever it is that you're using, okay? So you're going to get increased calorie burn to get closer to your calorie deficit. Now, why do I say that? Well, just burning calories in and of itself is not going to cause you to lose body fat. It takes a calorie deficit, meaning that you are burning or using more calories than what you consumed. That means that if you're eating more calories than what you're using in a day, you are not going to lose body fat no matter how clean you're eating and no matter how hard you're working out. And that is one thing you've got to understand. Otherwise, you're not going to get where you want to go. Now, HIIT workouts burn more calories than traditional steady state cardio workouts and even more than HIIT cardio. The reason why is because, number one, we're using that interval style. Number two is resistance training is going to require more oxygen than steady state cardio for the muscles, and it's just not going to be able to replenish that in that workout, okay? Now, HIIT can also increase calorie burn for hours after a workout due to the body's increased metabolic rate. This is also known as EPOC, okay? Now, EPOC is just a fancy way of talking about that oxygen consumption that we just talked about, okay? So what this means is EPOC stands for excess post-exercise oxygen consumption. Again, just a fancy way of saying after your workout, your body is still trying to get more oxygen consumed to replenish what it used in your workout. And that process in and of itself is going to make your metabolism faster from anywhere from 20 to 30 hours, depending, again, there's several variables, won't get into all that stuff. Okay, now, you also are going to get enhanced fat loss and muscle gain because of the fact that we're using cardiovascular activity and resistance training activity, and we're putting them together, okay? Now, HIIT can also help to reduce body fat while maintaining or even increasing muscle mass. Now, how do we do that? Well, increasing muscle mass is going to be, number one, making sure that you've got enough calories to fuel the strength that you're putting towards and making sure that you've got enough protein for that and progressive overload for your muscle to gain. And if you are using all of those, you can get increased muscle even while you're losing body fat, okay? Now, is it likely that you're going to see like a 5-pound jump in muscle while you're losing that much body fat? No, but what you are going to get is what's known as body recomposition. And what that means is that you are going to lose body fat, 3, 4, 5 pounds of body fat, and you might gain 3 to 4 pounds of lean body mass. And so it might look like the scale only moved 1 or 2 pounds, but this is body recomposition because the scale only moving is not showing if you gain muscle or lost fat. It's only showing the net of those adjustments. And what that means is that if you lost 4 pounds of body fat, but you gained 4 pounds of lean body mass, you lost 4 pounds of fat and gained muscle, but the scale stayed the same because 4 of a loss and 4 of a gain are 0. And this is why so many people get upset. Oh, Lance, I'm not losing any weight. I'm not losing. I don't understand. That's why you need to check your body fat percentages. That's why you need to check your photos. That's why you need to check more than just the scale. Because if you're getting body recomposition, which is phenomenal, and you're thinking that you need to be discouraged because you're not seeing the scale go down, well, my friend, that's a problem. You're going to end up doing something different, even though what you're doing is actually working. So let's stop that for sure, okay? Now, the high intensity interval in HIIT can help to stimulate muscle growth and increase strength. As long as we're using progressive overload, where you're making it more challenging on yourself than the prior week, and you're using what's known as reps in reserve, which I'll talk about in a moment, you can absolutely stimulate muscle growth and increase strength while you're losing body fat doing this type of workout. And that's what's wonderful about this, okay? So progressive overload means that we're going to focus on increasing either your repetitions, the weight you're using, the amount of sets that you're using, or increasing the time under tension, which is slowing down your tempo. So any of those are going to cause you to get more strength or more hypertrophy or muscle size, okay? Now, this is one of the most time efficient ways to get a full body workout because we're decreasing the rest time since we don't need them as much. And we're also increasing the amount of what we're getting done in a given period of time. Obviously, this means that we're still burning the normal amount of calories that we would in a 50 or 60-minute workout, but because we're taking fewer rests and we're elevating things, we're going to be able to do that in about a 30-minute period, okay? Which is why my busy entrepreneurs and my busy professionals love this style because it is so effective for what they're looking for, and yet it fits seamlessly into their busy work schedules, okay? Now, HIIT workouts can be done in a shorter amount of time compared to traditional steady state cardio workouts and resistance training, which is why one of the appeals for so many people exist, okay? So it's just something to kind of weigh out for you to determine, am I looking for getting maximum results in the shortest amount of time based on my busy schedule, or am I more about just enjoying the workouts in the process? And if so, you might be interested more in my strength and hypertrophy for fat loss style workouts instead of this. But either way, these are highly effective. And like I mentioned at the beginning of this video, this does not have to be high intensity where you feel like you're throwing up or anything like that. It can be moderate intensity where you're pushing really hard on resistance, but maybe your cardio parts are very low. A lot of my clients might do that at the beginning. And again, a lot of clients will start off just doing 15-minute workouts. Guys, you can absolutely do 15-minute workouts, get great results, and still not dread anything and not feel like you're going to throw up. So hopefully this helps and makes sense. And there we go. So that's everything that I've got for you. I really hope that this provides value. I hope that it really shows you what is possible. And again, if you've not done so already, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button below and make sure to hit the notification bell so that you're aware of when I'm uploading all the lessons that are coming directly from my Joyfully Fit University course. We're going to go into lesson 2 through 10 coming up in the next coming days as well. So be sure to be on the lookout for that. And don't forget to hit the like if you feel like you got some value out of this. Hey, if you're wanting to figure out like, hey, this is great, but I really need something that's more of a structured plan. I need to know what to do, how to do it, how long to do it so I can get results and finally get out of this misery that I'm in where I actually have confidence and energy and a better sex life and more stamina. Go ahead and click below in the description box and you're going to see a couple links that are going to get you set up and started too. So check that out. Again, thanks so much, guys, for tuning in. Check me out on the next one coming up. You don't want to miss lesson 2 on this. I'm going to get deeper and deeper and deeper. By the end of this, you are going to know exactly how to structure your own workouts for fat loss and strength gain over 40. Thanks so much for watching. I will see you guys on the next